Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Time passed quickly. On the Huaxia Nation side, there have been meetings almost all the time these days. The high levels, with their eyes flushed, have almost less than 1 or 2 hours of rest every day. Biologists, zoologists, they are doing research endlessly, knowing the truth about Donghai City. They all know that every minute and every second is wasted, which means that countless lives will be paid for it. It's okay not to work hard. When they tried their best, tried every means, and worked hard regardless of the cost, it was finally a painful discovery that they were still helpless and unable to do anything about the mutant beast, and they had an incomparably deep understanding of the 2 words despair. Huaxia Kingdom, the highest research institute. The majestic chief and the other 8 people, except for normal things, all stay here these days. When a scientist just put aside his work, the chief stepped forward. How is it? Have you found a way? Can you deal with those damned mutant beasts? Sorry, Chief, I couldn't find a way. Ugh. For several days in a row, almost this kind of dialogue has appeared more than 1,000 times. On the 8th day, the chief finally left here with a gentleman in a black suit, leaving only the other 7 gentlemen to guard here. Once there is any progress, he will contact him as soon as possible. A very hidden meeting room. 2 men sitting face to face. The eyes were red and the complexion turned pale. Especially these days, there is a lot of information coming out from Donghai City every moment. For them, this is definitely the biggest torment. After Li Zhongwu died in Donghai City, I arranged for Jing Chuan to take his place. According to the latest information, those mutant beasts turned the entire city into ruins, leaving more than 10 million people, and many of them are still there, thinking of a way to send us information. And these mutant beasts seem to be creating an unknown evolution potion, mass-produced, and used by all humans and beasts in Donghai City. After the 2 sat down, the chief spoke slowly, his temples turning white. In these short days, it seemed to him that several years had passed. The chief, with cold sweat on the forehead of the opposite man, he spoke slowly. But the chief directly continued. Those mutant beasts are establishing a new order. They have wisdom beyond humans and physical fitness far beyond humans. In the past, humans enslaved creatures of other races and borrowed their power to create wealth for mankind. And now, the appearance of mutant beasts has turned everything around. When he said this, the chief stopped completely, his bloodshot eyes staring at the man opposite. The chief, what do you mean? Mr. Li, as the chief's confidant, is also the person who knows the most secrets besides the chief. When he heard this, his pupils shrank. How could he not understand the meaning? Yes, as you think. Maybe these mutant beasts are related to the civilization of the beast god. Call. When this sentence came out, the chief took a deep breath again. When Mr. Li heard this, the muscles at the corners of his mouth kept twitching. Could it be that they are back? If they are really they, based on the information we have obtained, human beings are not rivals at all. However, I have never thought about it. If it is really the civilization of the beast gods, they can completely wipe out humans, but they have been on the Atlantic Ocean and the Sahara Desert. Even this time, they only occupied the East China Sea. His eyes slowly became deep. No matter what their purpose is, it seems that we must change the way. Ever since the rise of the US, the civilization of beast gods has been made public. For more than 200 years now, that weapon is activated. Okay, when the conversation reached this point, the 2 nodded heavily. In fact, except for the Huaxia Kingdom. The other top 4 gangsters who knew the secrets also began to think about things towards the civilization of the animal gods. U.S. White House, President Golden Retriever leaning on his seat, leafing through a document in his hand. But his complexion became more and more gloomy. The teams from various countries sent to Donghai City have received no response so far. It is estimated that everything has gone wrong. What is the power of the mutant beasts? Muttered to himself. When I spoke, the golden hair was still floating. Okay. But soon, President Golden Retriever thought of another question. If the Sahara Desert Research Institute and the experimental island, the so-called mutant beast research will not succeed at all. Among these mutant beasts, there are beast god civilization. In the shadow of. Thinking of this, President Golden Retriever's breathing became extremely rapid. On the document he was holding, a line of English letters was clearly written on it, meaning, the civilization of beasts and the kingdom of America. Britain, France, Russia. After these days of adjustment, they have also realized the real horror of the enemy they faced. When the powers of the world make the latest assessment of the mutant beast army. In Donghai City, everything is slowly on track. A silver-white python and a mutant monkey are moving fast. Wong, today we have produced a total of 2 million evolutionary medicines, giving priority to some birds to evolve. With their help, you can easily monitor everything around Donghai City and respond quickly and efficiently. The mutant monkey, standing on both feet, while walking, respectfully reported to Yi Bei the recent situation in Donghai City. This scene is very magical and shocking, because this monkey speaks the Chinese language, except for its appearance and apart from the huge difference between human beings. Other places are far beyond human beings. Yi Bei, very good. It's just 2 million bottles a day. The speed is too slow. Find a way to leak the formula of the mutant medicine, so that the whole world thinks that as long as the formula is obtained and the quality of human beings is improved, it will enter a new era. If so, global evolution will be faster. Yes, Wang, we have already thought of this. There are too many human beings captured in Donghai City, and many of them are constantly leaking out the information here. There must be a formula for evolutionary medicine. We have not stopped this. The mutant monkey looked serious and analyzed it carefully. If it's not wrong, humans must be actively researching it, but they are currently unable to determine the authenticity and side effects of the medicine. Based on the human personality, once they know the evolution of medicine strong, they will definitely produce crazily. The voice vowed, with the contact with humans during this period, the mutant beast's grasp of humans has also been greatly improved. At least some basic human ideas have been figured out clearly. While talking, the mutant monkey leading the way suddenly stopped. After seeing the buildings in front of him, Yi Bei was a little lost. He discovered the information about the civilization of the beast god. Yi Bei is very familiar with this place, Donghai City Biological Research Center. This is one of the most famous research institutes in Donghai City. It is located on the west side of Donghai City. It is surrounded by green trees. It is all rows of low buildings with white paint. Even during the day, the lights are on. From a distance, it looks extremely mysterious and full of academic atmosphere. Even such a big incident in Donghai City didn't suffer much damage here. A mutant monkey wearing a research uniform. There is also a human being who seems to be knowledgeable and extremely wise to shuttle among them. King, the information about the civilization of beast gods was found in this place. The mutant monkey explained quickly. Take me over. Chi. Yi Bei spit out Shinzi, and his voice seemed extremely calm. But in his heart, he was amazed. This research institute had cooperated with the Yi group at the beginning. Yi Bei had been here once, and even met the highest person in charge here, Dr. Guo Wenluan. If it weren't for becoming a snake, perhaps Yi Bei would never know about the civilization of the beast gods in his life. He was at a loss even when the star snake invaded the earth. Go unimpeded all the way. 3 minutes later, Yi Bei and the mutant monkey appeared in this research institute. In a special laboratory, strange instruments were placed everywhere, just like the laboratory under the Sahara Desert. And when Yi Bei came in here, his eyes slowly lit up. I also thought of Guo Wenluan just now. I didn't expect to see him as soon as I entered this laboratory. Mr. Monkey, are you here? Guo Wenluan wears a pair of black, presbyopic glasses. These days, he has almost witnessed the whole change of Donghai City from prosperous to decay. Everything seems to be overnight. But he was very smart. When the mutant beast came to the research institute, he surrendered immediately. As a scientist, you don't need the so-called arrogance. After seeing the essence of this world, he is very clear what the power holder needs is whether there is value or not. When he is useful enough, even if his race is different, can survive. Therefore, he said the words Mr. Monkey with a serious face. There were 2 young assistants in the laboratory. They did not have the consciousness of Guo Wenluan. After seeing Yi Bei and the mutant monkey, cold sweat was constantly oozing on their foreheads. Their faces turned pale, their bodies trembled, and they couldn't speak at all. He is the king of our mutant beast army. Please listen carefully. You must answer any questions about the king truthfully. Otherwise, you will end up with death. The mutant monkey is with his arms on his hips, with great momentum. Grimace in pain. Yes, yes. 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 Guo and the two assistants trembled. When they looked at Yi Bei, their pupils shrank sharply and instantly thought of the huge python that appeared on the screen not long ago. Show me the information about the civilization of the beast god. Chi. Yi Bei squinted his eyes, spit out the letter, and said lightly, he is now a snake. Although he and Guo have known each other before, it does not mean that he needs to be privileged. Yes, the Snake King. Guo reacted quickly. When speaking, I quickly turned on a computer next to him and entered the password several times in a row. At the same time, the voice in his mouth kept on saying, to be honest, before I got this information, I always felt that Darwin's theory of evolution was very correct. Yes, it takes great courage to overthrow an academic discipline, just as someone suggested in ancient times that the earth is round and the sun is the center of the universe. Human beings like to measure everything with only knowledge. In other words, human beings are as small as bacteria. Chi. While talking, the computer turned on. Okay. The first thing that appears is a triangular eye. When he saw this, Yi Bei's eyes condensed. The eye of the devil appeared in the computer. No matter what time it was, as long as he saw this eye, he could feel a strange mental fluctuation. Snake God. This pattern is the totem of the beast civilization. According to their civilization, this is called the eye. Although it is just a pattern, this eye seems to have the power of a god. So far we have not studied why. Although Guo was terrified in his heart, he kept talking. He understood that only by constantly embodying his profound knowledge could the other party know his value, and only in this way could he live longer. Snapped. His fingers hit the keyboard hard. The eyes of the demon disappeared, replaced by a folder on the desktop. This is a video, and the information about the civilization of the beasts is in it. In fact, we received this information a long time ago, and we have only recently cracked it. We haven't even had time to hand it over to watch. Hearing this, Yi Bei said slowly, just open this video. When he was on the Lost Island, Yi Bei broke into the remains of the beast civilization. The huge beast projections in it have all appeared. To be honest, at this moment, Yi Bei's heart is not much turbulent, just a little curious. That's it. But the mutant monkey next to him, Guo and the two assistants were extremely serious and serious. Wang, the things inside are more serious. The mutant monkey whispered aside. Zzz. When the sound fell, a bunch of white snowflakes appeared in the computer, and then the video opened, and a huge stone chair more than 5 meters high appeared in it, and the chair was densely engraved with strange patterns. Ta. Then, there was a rhythm of footsteps from the computer. At the next moment, a monster with a dark head and a thick armor on the surface came over. This monster looked terrifying. The height of the monster was at least 20 meters. There were 6 arms in total, and the head looked like a sheep. His head is dozens of times larger than a sheep. Under his black armor, he looks down on his real face, but his blood-red eyes seem to be extremely permeating, and every move of this monster is full of with the momentum of destroying the world. Even Yi Bei, across the computer screen, knowing that this is just a video recorded very early, still feels a little uneasy. Wow. After the monster appeared, he sat down on the stone chair and made a rattling metal sound. We are still alive. Deep, hoarse, this voice seemed to have endless magic power, making Yi Bei feel astonished. And Guo next to him was even more pale. Every time he watched this video, he was like that. In the video, the monster's voice continues. In the laboratory, it was very quiet. When the mutant monkey looked inside the computer, his body also trembled slightly. The incomprehensible fear was extremely strange. In the video, the monster covered in black armor, with a hoarse voice, is continuing to say, when we left the Earth, through technological means, a group of the humblest races were frozen and left behind, hairless monkeys. Although your IQs are not the same, it's not very high, but after we leave, we should be able to slowly become the most powerful race on Earth. As our most loyal servants, please welcome our return in 10 years, and remove all defensive weapons. At that time, we will re-enable all the resources on the Earth and return to the enemy line. Fight for our glory. Okay. When he said this, there was an incredible light in Yi Bei's eyes. Although this monster is very simple, but the information revealed in it is extremely huge. First of all, they said that when they left the Earth, they used special means to freeze a group of hairless monkeys. If they were right, they were humans. The second is that the civilization of the beast gods will return in 10 years. They have advanced technology and terrible physical fitness. This is to retake the Earth and sweep all living things. Finally, the beast civilization seems to be in trouble in the universe and needs resources on the Earth to go to war with other forces. Click. And when the video was put here, it was cut short. Snake God. This video, we accidentally obtained a signal from outer space not long ago. According to my inference, if it is correct, some forces in other countries have also accepted it. Because the origin of the animal civilization and the Earth, coupled with the close connection with human civilization, the video doesn't need to be cracked at all to understand what they mean. Guo Wenluan spoke again. Chi. Yi Bei came back to his senses and vomited a scarlet letter from his mouth. There are so many crises that the Earth has suffered. The starry sky snake, the civilization of the beast gods. Human beings can survive thousands of years safely. This luck is really against the sky. But now there is me and a group of mutant beasts. Everything has changed. Yi Bei murmured in a very small voice. Huh. Then he looked at Guo Wenluan. 10 years. When did this signal receive? Also, can you be sure when they will arrive on Earth? This question is very important. However, when Guo Wenluan was asked here, the muscles on his face twitched unconsciously, and when he looked at Yi Bei, his eyes were full of fear. That, snake god, are you not beast gods? Is it the vanguard of civilization? These words made Yi Bei stunned for a moment. According to what the monster said, it is actually impossible to judge time at all. In the universe, the propagation of signals also takes a lot of time. When this video reaches the Earth, maybe the civilization of the beast will arrive at any time. No wonder Guo Wenluan thinks that the mutant beast army is the civilization of beast gods. We have nothing to do with them. Yi Bei vomited Shinzi, and after saying this, he ignored the expressions of Guo Wenluan and his two assistants. He turned around and moved towards the outside of the laboratory. The mutant monkey immediately followed. Wang, what's the matter? When he arrived outside the laboratory, the mutant monkey asked somehow. In addition to the research of evolutionary medicine, the speed of deciphering the technology of the civilization of the beasts must also be accelerated. In addition, these huge cement cities built by humans take up too much area and are transformed at the fastest speed. Turn Donghe City into the largest factory on Earth. Yi Bei said coldly, squinting eyes. To be honest, whether it is for the star snakes or the monsters in the beast civilization, and Yi Bei, who has an infinite evolution system, he is more looking forward to it. Only when new and powerful races come over can he evolve faster and become more strong. Yes, King. The mutant monkey couldn't see through what Yi Bei was thinking, but after hearing the order, he immediately nodded and left quickly, conveying Yi Bei's order. I'm really looking forward to it. In the past, all of them focused on a small Earth, the vastness of the universe, endless life forms. That is my next battlefield. The Earth must be controlled as soon as possible. Looking at the sky full of black smoke, Yi Bei's eyes became extremely firm, full of coldness. Tokai Biological Research Institute, Laboratory. Teacher, are these monsters really a civilization of beast gods? That once the master of the Earth, even in that era, all mankind were their servants. When Yi Bei and the mutant monkey left, an assistant who was about 25 years old wiped the cold sweat on his forehead and hurriedly asked Guo Wenluan. His eyes were full of panic and doubt. It was the first time these two assistants watched the video just now. Guo Wenluan shook his head, his eyes calmed down, and he looked very deep. Servant? Maybe, but I think it's more like another relationship. It's like humans now like to treat cats and dogs as pets. Maybe in civilization, humans are just pets. Provide them with fun and experiment. Impossible. When another assistant heard it, he jumped out. Teacher, absolutely impossible. Humans are also creatures with high intelligence. How can they be servants? Dogs can understand people. Teddy can even stand and walk on both legs. You have all seen these monsters outside. In terms of intelligence and physical fitness, they are far superior to humans. Guowenluan was not polite. Hiss. When the two assistants heard this, they all began to gasp. All the expressions in his eyes were despair and loss. With their IQs, if you just think about it a little bit, it is not difficult to find that what Guowenluan said is very reasonable. Any creature respects the strong. When humans rule the earth, other creatures become their playthings and food. When stronger creatures rule the earth, the fate of mankind can be imagined. It's just this kind of result. It's too difficult for humans to accept, and it's even denied from the heart by countless humans. To put it bluntly, those humans who deny this concept are just because they are too weak. Only by living can you have a chance. You have been with me for so many years. Send you a word, even if the races are different, but the value is enough. You can live better by proving your value. Guowenluan made a summary. The two assistants nodded seemingly. But the next sentence of Guowenluan directly made the two assistants feel at a loss. The silver-white python just now, the king of the mutant beast army. Although its eyes are cold, but I feel like I have seen it somewhere before. More adventure novels. After Yi Bei came out of the Donghai Biological Research Institute, he directly used the field of mental power to summon the high-level members of the mutant beast group. And on a global scale, as Guowenluan said, after discovering that they were helpless against the mutant beast army, the leaders of the major countries began to start with the civilization of the beast gods. The video that Yi Bei saw in the laboratory is also owned by many powerful nations. United States, White House, President Golden Retriever sitting on a chair, looking at the computer in front of him, his eyes widened and his breathing was short. Sure enough, it is like this. The beast civilization is back. As long as we give us another 100 years, our country will be able to completely crack the technology they left behind. Is it true that mankind is going to perish? After watching the video, President Golden Retriever became very bad. In front of the Golden Retriever president, there was a man in a suit, Paul, who appeared to be an ordinary agent of the U.S. intelligence agency and one of the leaders of the 51st District. Your Excellency, when Mr. Washington first discovered the civilization of the beasts, he formed a group of forces and created the United States. And over the past 2 centuries, we have continued to crack the technology in it, so that the United States has always maintained its position as the world's #1. On our coins, there are deliberately left God eyes. But this does not mean that our U.S. country is really completely attached to the animal civilization. Paul spoke slowly, his eyes flickering slightly, and when he spoke, there was a slight smile on his face. Does the U.S. still have a back player? Huh. President Golden Retriever got up from his chair with a sigh. He took over the position of the black president for a short time, and he did not know many secrets of the United States for the time being. But his instinct told him that Paul should have other ways. Your Excellency, please calm down, Paul continued. And when he saw President Golden Retriever sitting back again, he continued. The outside world may have been rumored to be studying aliens in the 51st District, but that's just superficial. In addition to the research on mysterious life forms, the 51st District has received large amounts of government funding over the years, and more of it is researching weapons against the animal civilization. The weak and the strong, the law of the jungle, the technology of the animal civilization has changed we humans. They can also take it back at any time. If humans want to continue to live, they must also have the power to resist them. There is such a thing? Paul, how is the weapon research in the 51st area? President Golden Retriever can't wait. A depressed mood these days has also eased a lot. We already have mature weapons. Your Excellency, this time I came here to prepare to hand over the control to you. Originally, these weapons were never intended to be used. I didn't expect them to come so soon. Paul hooked his mouth, his face full of confidence. Okay, take me right away. President Golden Retriever stood up again. China and the United States have all prepared their backs. As powerful countries, Russia, France, and the United Kingdom are naturally no exception. After judging the mutant beasts as the civilization of beasts, The five gangsters once again urgently held a video conference when they went to their respective weapon arsenals. Five computers form a circle. After countless encryption methods, among the five largest parties, a serious face, especially the head of the Chinese nation, his face was terribly gloomy. According to our judgment, the so-called mutant beasts are likely to be the civilization of the beast gods. They are back. In addition, you should have received that video. Everyone, although the disaster is only happening in the east my country see, you can imagine it. It won't be long before this disaster will sweep the world. The head of the Chinese nation spoke slowly. His tone was extremely serious, and his attitude was extremely serious. This situation is absolutely rare. I know that you have all sent some teams to Donghai City to obtain valuable things. In this regard, our Huaxia kingdom has not made any obstacles. Our sincerity is very obvious. We can only deal with these monsters again. Unite, share weapons, and all countries send troops together. Speaking of this, it can be seen how determined the head of China is. But the other four rascals shook their heads unceremoniously. There is no problem in dispatching the army, but the weapons are not good. Nuclear bombs are useless to them. We have no effective weapons at all. We can't help if we want to help. President Golden Retriever spread his hands with an expression of helplessness. The Russian Emperor. I believe in the strength of our country's soldiers. Mankind will never fail. Just send troops. Hearing this, the complexion of the head of China became slightly difficult to look. Then I set my sights on the British Prime Minister and the French President. I abstain. I also abstained. Puff. And the answers of these two people almost didn't make the head of Huaxia State spit blood, but they couldn't find any words to refute it. After all, it was Huaxia State who did most of this kind of thing before. Okay, it's okay to send an army. Anyway, as long as you can eliminate those monsters. Otherwise, all mankind will be ruined. When this sentence was said, the head of China was already very weak. The meeting continues. In fact, everyone knows well that over the years, they have privately studied a lot of weapons against the civilization of beasts, but no country is willing to share weapons at this time. You can deal with the enemy together. However, hide your strength and consume the strength of your partners first. This is also one of the most common methods used by humans. The accident in Donghai City this time is a disaster for all mankind. In order to show the friendly relationship between the United States and China, our country will dispatch 10,000 elite soldiers. As for the weapons, they will be provided by China. President Golden Retriever took his shamelessness to the extreme. When he said this, he didn't feel any problem at all. The Russian Emperor. We are close enough to Huaxia. There is an old saying in Huaxiao that is called lip death and tooth cold. I also understand this truth. I decided to send 50,000 more soldiers to fight those monsters. I give out 10,000 people. I also give out 10,000 people. The United Kingdom, France, and others have expressed their stance again and again. They seem to be sincere, but these words are particularly harsh in the ears of the head of China. On the population base, Huaxia State has more than 1.3 billion. If the war can be won by relying on the number of troops, does China still have to ask for help? The most important thing now is, there is no best way to deal with the mutant beasts, and these countries allow China to provide weapons. Obviously, they want to get those secretly researched technologies to deal with the beast civilization from China. Everyone, I would like to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of China, but this matter must be analyzed and taken seriously. The head of the Chinese nation kept his face black and continued to play Tai Chi. The emergency meeting of the five gangsters continues. Huaxia Kingdom, Donghai City, and Yi Bei gathered the high-level leaders of the mutant beast army. Yi Bei, what's the matter? Is there another human coming over to ask for trouble? Gu Yu, wearing a white dress, walked towards Yi Bei, her voice with a sweet feeling. These days, she has been in charge of the work arrangements for the captive humans in Donghai City, but with the help of evolution potions. After that, it will not look tired at all. They haven't moved yet, but I can feel that they are almost unable to stay. Yi Bei squinted his eyes and said coldly, Wang, recently, we have expanded a lot of power, or should we directly rush out of Donghai City? Roar. The Golden Lion, at any time, looks murderous. This Donghai City has been completely controlled, But many humans are not honest. King, when can they swallow them all? I feel that there are many humans who will betray at any time, and let them obtain evolution potions. After the overall quality improves, it will definitely be against us. Chi. Wong Wen spit out Shinzi. His thoughts were actually what many mutant beasts thought. Not my family. Its heart must be different. Even among the mutant beasts, the snake race has always been evolving with the first priority level. All the mutant beasts are grouped together, but Wong Wen will never trust other different races. Yes, Wong, I think the sooner you eat them, the better. Cut weeds and roots to prevent future troubles. Humans all deserve to die. Chun Hua Chuyue, the joyousness also followed. Obviously, dealing with humans these days has increased their anger towards this race. HHHH. Yi Bei's gaze swept over them one by one. Betray? Yi Bei wouldn't worry about such things. With the help of the system, the powerful mental power control is strengthened outside. As long as Yi Bei is not dead, the entire mutant beast group will always be firmly controlled by him, and there will never be any accidents. Needless to say about human matters, the purpose is to let them evolve and become stronger, so that it will be interesting to swallow them. Now I am looking for everyone to come over. I have a few things to say. Chi. Yi Bei's voice was cold. Yes, King. Yes. Yes. Wong Wen, Golden Lion, Blood Moon, and even Guyu all bowed their heads and shouted in a deep voice. Wait later, I will plant live plants around the entire Donghai city, so that they can be the strongest and most powerful defensive wall. At the same time, some ports will be established near the sea, so that we can quickly into the sea. Yi Bei said calmly. Originally, he was only preparing to transplant living plants in the Sahara Desert, but now the situation has changed. The civilization of the beast gods and the star snake may come to the earth at any time, and Yi Bei must make the most comprehensive preparations in advance. As for the ruined city now, don't worry about it. If it's right, there are countless subway passages under the Donghai city, and those are the most natural factories. Starting today, all humans will be transferred to the ground and factory equipment perfect. Make as many evolution potions as possible. On the surface of Donghai City, it is for all mutant beasts to live. Once an enemy strikes, just hunt and kill. Yi Bei spoke very slowly, but when he finished speaking these words, the high-ranking members of the alien animal group around were all excited. Before, mutant beasts and human captives had been studying and living together, but now this if you do, the level is very obvious. All human beings are put in the subway tunnels as labor, which is simply perfect. Yes. Yes, King. Yes. The Golden Lion, Wong Wen, and the Blood Moon were all excited. As for the planning of this city, you build it yourself. With your current physical fitness, wisdom, and sufficient labor, I believe it will not take long before it will completely change its appearance. Chi. Yi Bei spoke very calmly, and at the same time, a distorted space appeared directly behind him. In the next second, a large, emerald green tree emerged from that space. It was the first time that Guyu saw Yi Bei using such an ability. Her eyes widened and shocked. Golden Lion. The king has a mysterious space with living plants in it. The Sahara Desert has become an oasis. In fact, it is just a living tree. In short, the longer you follow the king, you will discover his power. It's getting scarier. Rumble. While speaking, after the big living tree that emerged from the dead forest appeared, its roots were like electric drills, rumbling into the city full of cement. Wow. Golden Lion, Wong Wen, and Guyu all retreated instinctively when they saw this. As for Yi Bei, the field of spiritual power was released. The scene he saw was completely different from that of other mutant beasts, and even he himself felt shocked and terrifying. Perhaps the beast civilization is very powerful. But, living plants, this is definitely the most terrifying discovery that mankind has accidentally made. As long as water source and environment permit, a large living tree can proliferate endlessly until it completely covers the entire planet. Unless the planet is completely annihilated, it will not perish. Through the propagation of roots, the entire Donghai city will be completely covered. In addition, with the border of Donghai city as the line, 500 meters of isolation will grow out. After the living tree appeared, Yibei immediately communicated with it with mental power. ZZZ. Whizzing. After the order was given, the roots of the living tree plunged into the underground of Donghai City and spread wildly. During the growth process, the entire Donghai City was violently shaking. 1 minute. Wow. The root coverage area has reached 5 square kilometers, and under the control of Yi Bei's mental power, it has directly penetrated more than 2,000 meters underground and will not cause any damage to the subway channel structure of Donghai City. 2 minutes later, the roots and whiskers of this living tree cover 20 square kilometers. Donghai City is close to the sea, with abundant underground water sources, abundant sunshine, and humid air on weekdays. 4 large living trees. Here is an excellent growth environment, which is not many times stronger than the Sahara Desert. 10 minutes later, the entire edge of Donghai City, an isolation zone of living plants with a range of 500 meters, appeared in an instant. After this scene, the surrounding cities of Huaxia Kingdom themselves felt weird in the recent period. This time they were completely shocked. The internet was almost at the same time set off by a terrible storm. Donghai City, when Yi Bei announced the next plan. The entire city has begun a huge reform again. With sufficient labor, the city is undergoing earth-shaking changes almost every minute and every second. Moreover, when Yi Bei set up a living tree isolation zone at the border of Donghai City, the changes in the city could not be covered, and it spread at the fastest speed. On the highway leading to Donghai City. Not open to traffic yet. What happened to Donghai City? Asshole. Are those in charge eating shit? Those drivers who were blocked on the highway, at the beginning, were able to remain calm, each looking for fun on the highway. But as time passed, they could no longer calm down. Countless drivers got off the car, he cursed, trying to figure out what was going on. Especially those who are close to the edge of Donghai City. The scolding has become more intense. It is clear that the destination is in front, but they can't cross it, which undoubtedly makes them even more angry. Just on the 8th day, when these people were about to riot, an accident happened. Qian Shui is an ordinary truck driver who relies on the price gap between 2 different cities to drag cheap goods to another city to sell, thus earning the difference. It's just that in the past few days, his whole person has become bad. What's going on? The shipper's phone is always unavailable. The highway has been blocked for 8 days. Damn it. Could it be that we've been blocked here? Obviously, there is only less than 100 meters away. This toll booth will do, bastard. Looking at the blocked toll booth, Qian Shui cursed. Next to him, a young man wearing big flowered pants took the words with a grin. In fact, you can completely leave the car and walk through this toll station. This is how many people do it these days, but it's strange to say it. All the drivers who went into Donghai City did not come back. Their mobile phones could not be reached, and they could not be contacted at all. Buddy, how about that? Let's go see it together. Plus me, mother-in-law, I don't believe it. Is this Donghai City really haunted? I am going to. Count me in. The young man suggested that many drivers immediately agreed. Qian Shui has indeed seen many drivers abandon their cars and walk into Donghai City these days. It's just that he has been reluctant to bear his car and the goods in it, but he was stuck in traffic for several days. The mood is really irritable, and there is no hope of opening to traffic at all. Well, everyone, go together. I want to see what those are doing with taxpayer money. Qian Shui scolded. At the same time, I was thinking about it, and I would look at the situation later and come back after I figured out the situation. 3 minutes later, headed by Qian Shui, a group of 9 people passed through the toll booth and arrived at the most fringe area of Donghai City. Click, click. However, just as they continued to move forward, suddenly cracks appeared on the ground. Clicking sound in their ears kept ringing, an extremely uneasy feeling. Hey, do you think something is wrong? There is no one around except us. Only then did he advance less than 300 meters. The strange situation around made Qian Shui feel a chill in his back. Coupled with the movement on the ground, he lowered his voice and directed at the other 8 companions with a bit of panic. Shouted, "There are people to blame. If there are people, we can block for such a long time. It must be those wicked pins who went to drink. Keep walking." Next to him, the young man cursed. Okay. However, when his voice fell, His body stiffened and he was stunned on the spot. Do you feel anything moving under the ground? Really, I feel something is pressing against the soles of my feet. The teammates beside them, with cold sweat on their foreheads, suddenly thought of the many drivers who had entered Donghai City before, and none of them had returned. Suddenly, endless fear appeared in their hearts. Wow. However, it was too late. When they felt the movement of the ground, in the next instant, countless vines with thick wrists burst out of the ground, densely packed, endless, and green all over. What is this? Qian Shui was frightened on the spot. A tree vine just appeared from the bottom of his feet, and that huge force overturned him. When he fell to the ground, he opened his mouth wide and spit out such words in panic. Like a bamboo shoot that just broke out of the ground. Next to him, a relatively plain-dressed man stared at the trees and vines after seeing Qian Shui's fall. Ah, fast back. It was the young man who had screamed the most before. His face turned pale, and he rushed towards the highway with his legs, his mouth screaming constantly. Whizzing. However, it's okay for this young man not to run. When he moved, the vines at his feet grew more than 100 times faster and grew to more than 20 meters in the blink of an eye. Those vines like tentacles madly moved towards him. The body entangled in the past. In front of the other 8 people. The body of such a young man was completely wrapped. Only one head was exposed, and he kept screaming. At the same time, the vines are still growing upwards at a speed visible to the naked eye. It's over, we're over. Qian Shui was desperate. What are these things? Ah, don't slam me. Someone jumped like crazy. Does anyone remember what was reported in the news a few months ago? These vines and the living trees in the Sahara Desert look like. Are they true? There are also people who maintain a very calm state of mind under this extreme fear, and there is still time for such an analysis. Help! How can plants move? I'm dreaming. Ah. No. Let go of my bastard, let go. The scene screamed again and again, and Qian Shui's side was just one of them. The scope of Donghai City was too large. With the isolation of this period of time, many people gathered at the edge every day. Wow. Whizzing. There are too many vines on living trees. After drilling out of the ground, he immediately entangled Qian Shui's 9-member team at the fastest speed and wrapped them into zongzi to hang up. This happened in all other places. And those humans who happened to be within the safe range witnessed countless huge vines rising up into the sky, entangled a large number of humans, as if after fruit hanging on the branches, standing in place, breathing quickly. His complexion was pale, his head was dizzy, his breathing was rapid, but at the same time there was silence. 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, the humans who had witnessed the entire process of drilling the living tree out of the ground finally reacted. The silent scene was like a bomb dropped on a calm lake, setting off a huge wave. Gosh, what are those green things? Tentacles. Many people have been entangled by him. There are real monsters in Donghai City. Run! The scope of Donghai City is too large, and the borders are extremely wide. When the entire city is completely cut off from the outside world, the number of humans concentrated at the junction will increase, and the living trees will break out of the ground without warning and grow into the strongest and most powerful. Offensive isolation zone. That crazy scene naturally shocked countless humans. Click. Previously, communications in Donghai City were cut off. However, communications in surrounding cities are completely normal. While screaming, shocking, and frightened, the first reaction of those human beings was to move back quickly while taking pictures and videos with their mobile phones, and at the same time, they would not hesitate to waste data to post the situation on the internet. Gosh, it is absolutely unbelievable that Donghai City lost contact because of this. The first one posted on Weibo was a second-shot video, which lasted only more than 20 seconds, and the title was not very grandiose. But in recent times, the internet has always had a feeling of rain and wind. The moment it was sent out during this period of time, hundreds of people immediately clicked on it, and then all the netizens who clicked on it were shocked. Huang Bo, a very ordinary student, but this guy is definitely the highest founder of conspiracy theory. In his opinion, no matter what other people do, it has impure goals. With the loss of contact with Donghai City, What Huang Bo has done the most every day during the recent period is to find the latest news about Donghai City on the internet. He will read every article carefully and will never let it go. Huh? This is a video. In the internet cafe, Huang Bo was still searching and muttering to himself. He happened to see the second video and clicked on it. Okay. The next second, Huang Bo's body trembled suddenly while sitting in front of the computer. Sure enough, it is so. Donghai City has been invaded. It has been invaded by alien creatures. The end is coming, and all human beings will be finished. Run away, everyone. Huh. After watching the video, Huang Boheo stood up from his seat. Wow. The action was too violent, with headphones on his head. This one stood up and not only flipped the keyboard to the ground, but the computer was smashed by him until the headphones fell off and fell to the ground. MD's easy. Young man, are you sick? Have you taken the medicine? Huang Bo looked horrified, but other people in the internet cafe cast their dissatisfied eyes. When they looked at Huang Bo, they seemed to be looking at an idiot, and at the same time they cursed. Look at the news, Weibo. Now the news has come out. Everything is true. We have all been cheated. The government is hiding from us. But it was clear that Huang Bo had no consciousness at all. His body trembled slightly. His complexion instantly turned pale, and the voice in his mouth continued. Moron. Read too many novels. Secondary 2. The vast majority of netizens don't believe in Huang Bo at all, and the curse remains the same. At the same time, on Weibo, there are more and more news about events at the edge of Donghai City, and major forums have begun to burst out. The living tree is real. I risk my death to shoot. A small video of the rapid growth of living plants, and the background is a high-speed toll booth at the entrance of Donghai City. After the video was posted to the Tianya forum, it took less than a minute to be posted to the homepage. What happened in Donghai City? We have the right to know the truth. Tencent News has been swiped even more. Stun Lao Tzu. There are really living plants in the world. I have seen it with my own eyes. There are pictures and the truth. On the homepage of Maopu Forum, the largest picture is the title displayed. With the development of science and technology, major news websites, forums, and Weibo have official participation, but more ordinary citizens release the latest news spontaneously. As things happened at the edge of Donghai City, they sprung up like bamboo shoots after a rain. After those websites reacted, there was no time to block them, and the news spread out completely. Fuck. Something really happened. Everyone, go back and go to the supermarket to buy good things. At this time, whoever stores more supplies can live longer in the doomsday. At the internet cafe where Huang Bo was located, when countless people looked at him like idiots, another netizen not far away also stood up and shouted loudly. It's true. Everyone read Weibo. Damn. Something happened to Donghai. The third, the fourth. In the internet cafe, those panicked voices one after another, many people didn't believe it, but they opened the news with a puzzled attitude. After contacting the news that Donghai City had completely lost contact recently, they all realized the problem. Wow. Finally, no one laughed at Huang Bo anymore. More people just got up and rushed outside. Another place. China, in an office with concentrated power. The majestic man, whose hair has become a little gray in the past few days, stood in front of him, a man in a suit and glasses. His expression was full of panic and fear. Chief. Tokai City, nah, there is no way to hide things from the side. A large number of living plants appeared, covering all the borders of Donghai City. These plants that emerged in an instant are hard to be noticed. The most important thing is that the vines of these living plants can be used in the absence of wind. Constantly twisting in the same state is too attractive. The Donghai City incident can cover so many days, it is enough. Except for the leakage, what are other cities in the country like now? Sitting on the main seat, the head's voice was a little hoarse, and the whole person looked increasingly old. Too many people have seen the growth of living plants, and the news has all spread on the internet. Hundreds of millions of citizens have spoken out and asked our government to explain. In addition, supermarkets in major cities have all been looted. The stock market plummeted, and a large amount of cash was raised from the bank. Because many people were eager to realize cash and purchase more materials, even housing prices were crashing. According to this situation, it only takes one day to develop. The economic situation will collapse completely. The man in the suit turned pale. What he said are all facts. Over the years, Huaxia Kingdom has done everything to improve its economic development. It does not know how many hidden dangers have been buried. Obviously, the incident in Donghai City has become the fuse that detonated these hidden dangers. I know. Call. The chief took a deep breath. He never expected that this kind of thing would happen during his tenure. Chief, what should I do? The man in the suit was a little worried. The majestic man on the seat narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Since everyone already knows, there is nothing to hide. Tell them about the situation in Donghai City. 1.3 billion people in our country. I will never admit defeat easily. The man in the suit listened, but his body was stunned on the spot. China State. With the removal of control by the country, all exchanges have been screened by living plants in Donghai City. Capital. Within the second ring road, in the lobby of a private villa, sat two elderly people, a man and a woman. The man is turning on the TV, and all the news on Donghai City is broadcast. There are constantly pictures and videos taken on site, as well as interviews with people who have witnessed the growth of large living trees. If Bei were here, he would definitely recognize them immediately. These two old people were his parents Yi Kun and Wu Lian. Donghai City is in great danger. The great disaster in the history of Huaxia State. What should all mankind do? The great secret, the mystery of the disaster in Donghai City. How many people were still alive in the Donghai City incident? All the people recruit a living tree to crack the solution. Human wisdom is endless. There are constant news headlines on TV. Each one looks shocking. At the same time, some live interview videos appeared on TV from time to time. Hello, gentlemen. I am a reporter from Toilet TV. I want to ask, did you really see the growth of the living tree just now? Can you describe the scene? A beautiful journalist who looks very young and very beautiful, holding a microphone at a middle-aged uncle. His complexion flushed seems very urgent. The middle-aged uncle was trembling with a pale face. Obviously, he hadn't recovered yet. The devil? No, dryad. It must be a dryad. They are growing very fast, hundreds of meters in the blink of an eye. All human beings close to them are all absorbed by them and turned into corpses, ghosts. When the middle-aged uncle answered, his voice trembled and he was extremely frightened. Change a channel. This beauty, what did you see just now? Are those living trees really that terrible? Do you think this is the punishment of nature to us humans? A young-looking man wearing CCBV overalls, holding a microphone, asked an ant. When he spoke, the voice was very sweet, and if it was on weekdays, the ant would definitely laugh out loud. But now, the ant's face is blue and her teeth are trembling. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Don't ask me. I won't say. Those living trees are terrible. He wants to eat us. The voice fell, and the ant ran away in a panic. She was obviously fat, but she ran faster than a rabbit. 3. 4. In the lobby of the villa, Yi Kun changed more than a dozen channels in a row, all of which were interviews like this. Those reporters, not afraid of danger, always stood on the front line, really admired Yi Kun to the extreme. It was just that as more and more news was absorbed, Yi Kun sitting on the sofa looked more and more difficult to look. Donghai City is really over? More than 3 months ago, all the monsters in the Sahara Desert came over. Damn, what did the government do? Our Yes Group's foundation is all in Donghai City. When saying this, Yi Kun showed a lot of grief on his face. As the founder of Yes Group, he created this. Although Yi Shan inherited the huge family business, he still couldn't put it down. Now it's useless to say that. At least we are still safe. If it weren't for the Yi family group, we would have been picked up by the country early in the morning. Maybe something has happened, and Yi Shan is still there. It's just a shame. Gu Yu is still in Donghai City, and I don't know how this girl is now. What a good girl. Wu Lian sat next to her, sighed, and gently shook her head when she spoke. Gu Yu? Is she still in Donghai City? After Yi Kun listened, his body trembled. Yi Bei's accident at the time was a huge blow to Yi Kun. Gu Yu, as Yi Bei's girlfriend, had no blood relationship with the Yi family, but Yi Kun treated her like her own daughter. Just when the two of them were talking about this, a brand new message suddenly appeared on the lobby TV. Dear viewers, according to the latest news we have received, The monsters that appeared in Donghai City are likely to be related to this person. Everyone, please look at the big picture. On the TV, the host looked solemn. When the sound fell, two high-definition pictures appeared immediately. One of them is a photo of Guyu lying on the back of the blood moon and flying in the air. The other is a photo of Guyu holding Yi Bei behind him and entrenched on the roof of the Yes Group building in Donghai City. When Yi Kun saw these two pictures, his pupils shrank sharply. Wu Lian, who was sitting next to her, stood up even more. Pointing to the TV, she was speechless for a long time. On the other side, in the most powerful office in China, the capital, the final plan has almost been discussed. Since the Donghai City incident has been completely concealed, it is better than blocking it. Moreover, there are still a large number of living plants surrounding it. Ordinary people cannot go in and find out the truth. It directly announced that the entire Donghai City has been infected by the virus. In the main seat, the chief spoke slowly, his eyes cold. Infected by a virus? Next to him, the man in the suit shrank. Doom. In the past few years, didn't many people say that the end is coming? The East China Sea is no different from the end. It was announced that Donghai City has become a dead city. There are a large number of mutant humans and mutant creatures in it, and there is also the so-called evolution potion. If there are some forces confident in their own strength who want to enter, we will not stop it. But once in, unless it can be proved that he still has the human instinct and is not infected, he can return to the uninfected area. Otherwise, there will be no mercy. Laugh. When he said this, a cold light flashed in the chief's eyes. After listening to the man in a suit, his eyes lit up. This method is good. Not only can it give the people of the whole country an explanation, but it can also entice a large number of unrelenting forces to die. If someone is lucky enough to come out, they must be controlled by the state as soon as possible. Chief, I know what to do. At most 1 hour, the latest official news from Donghai City will be known to the entire China and the entire world. After speaking, the man in the suit retired respectfully. 10 minutes later, in China, all the TV stations that can receive the signal are broadcasting the latest news. Even many foreign TV stations broadcast this news for the first time. On TV, a man in a military uniform with several bars on his shoulders sat seriously, without talking nonsense, and said directly, "Everyone, here, we have made many studies and decisions, and are ready to announce the world's greatest miracle, the City of Doom." When the Huaxia Kingdom officially announced the authoritative news. At this moment, the entire country, more than 80% of humanity, all stopped. Someone is sitting in front of the TV. Someone is sitting in front of the computer. Some people even stopped by advertising TV when they were rushing to buy things in the supermarket. On the street, those passers-by who were walking in a hurry also stopped, their eyes widened, and stared at their phones. Everyone, before making the announcement, now I have to tell you this news with a very heavy heart. Just 8 days ago, Donghai City was infected with an unknown virus, and all beasts, plants, including humans, all came out. However, thanks to our military's efforts, the entire city has been successfully blocked to ensure that no virus will spread. When he said this, the man in uniform paused a bit. Many ordinary citizens listened to this with a relaxed expression on their faces, knowing that they were safe. For most citizens, this is something to be happy about. But there are also people with higher IQs who are not at all concerned about this. Believe, the entire Donghai City has mutated and is all blocked? Don't be kidding. It is absolutely impossible for Huaxia Kingdom to react so quickly to have this kind of power. If it is really a virus, why was there no news 8 days ago? Why don't you notify the National Guard? In short, there are too many doubts. On TV, the man in uniform continued. In other words, the entire Donghai City has now become a city of doom. Like many novels and movies, it is like hell, but it is also a paradise for countless strong men. According to the information we have, there is a strange evolution potion that can make any creature stronger and smarter in a short time. Humans are the masters of the earth, and this will never change. For what happened to Donghai City, I express my deep condolences on behalf of the country, but those who survived must shoulder the responsibility and find new hope in the disaster. If anyone can get the meat of mutant beasts in Donghai City, or it is the skin of the body, and the government is willing to exchange it at a high price. If the guilty body can survive from it, the government will also pardon it. We encourage people to take risks, but we also severely warn you that they are full of dangers. The man in uniform gave a lot of speeches, but when he has finished speaking, it can probably be summarized into these points. First, an accident has indeed occurred in Donghai City, and there are now a large number of mutant beasts, even humans. Second, there is a brand new way to make money in front of you. Enter Donghai City, get what the government calls mutant beast resources in exchange for a lot of wealth, so as to reach the sky in one step and directly enter the upper-class society. Third, anyone who has committed a crime can be forgiven if they can go to Donghai City and come back alive. Fourth, although the disaster was born in Donghai City, there are endless opportunities and even evolution potions. As long as you are strong enough, you can become stronger after entering. Fifth, Donghai City has become a doomsday world, a doomsday city. All the humans who stayed in it before have no hope of alive, but the economy of China will not be affected because a large number of mutant beasts have become brand new hard currency. Sixth, people who enter inside will not necessarily mutate when they come out. Some creatures will develop antibodies against viruses, commonly known as evolution. Just like many doomsday novels, it is possible to become a Superman. When the soldier's speech ended, some netizens with relatively high IQ summed up these 6 points in the first place. Many people did not understand at first. However, with the emergence of these analyses, the internet has exploded. In a small bungalow in Hangzhou, 3 fierce-looking men quietly sat in chairs and smoked. After a long time, one of the men with a scar across his cheek pinched out the smoke from the corner of his mouth. His voice was hoarse, but he was very determined. "Brothers, we have all killed people. If we were caught, it would be death. You have all read the news. Go to Donghai City and come back alive. Not only may you have a stronger power, but you will also be pardoned by the state. I did this. What about you? Those who are willing to follow me are not afraid of death." Everyone together. The 2 men next to each other glanced at each other. "I have killed everyone, so what else can't you dare? Count me him." The 3 hit it off, then quickly searched for tools and rode the night directly towards Donghai City that day, studying in a high school around Donghai City. At this moment, a boy stood on the classroom podium with an excited look and said, "Classmates, the end is coming. Have you ever read a novel? Those super strong, those protagonists, what they do every day is to go to dangerous places, brush the dungeon, then have adventures, gain the power of evolution, magic weapons, and become stronger. I used to think that such things can only appear in novels, but now it's different. The opportunity lies in front of us. Let's go together. Explore Donghai City, kill mutant beasts, gain powerful power, and become the protagonist of the times. When we come back, we are all heroes and supermen." When he said this, the student's complexion flushed, not to mention too much excitement. It was obvious that this guy was unconscious and read too many novels. But the students in the classroom hadn't even noticed it. "Haha, kill the mutant beast. I also need to go. Take me one. Everyone, make a team. At this time, the sooner you go, the better." The students booed. Criminals, students, migrant workers, teachers, white-collar workers, roadside vendors, urban management teams. After the TV broadcast, the entire Chinese nation began to sweep the expedition team, and countless humans who could not find hope in their cities flocked to them. Donghai City. In this regard, the Huaxia state military has even more to use satellite monitoring. From the display on the satellite. In the following few days, the entire Huaxia kingdom seemed to have started a frenzy of migration, and there were countless densely packed human beings. The most frightening thing is that these people didn't notice any crisis at all when they went to Donghai City. Instead, everyone's face was filled with excitement, expectation. At the same time, Donghai City. Wang, a large number of humans started to move around, but they were all blocked by living trees. According to the information we got, the humans took action, but their actions were very stupid. Bloody Moon crawled beside Yi Bei and said respectfully. When the Blood Moon returned, he was responsible for observing the entire mutant bird at high altitude in Donghai City. Once he found valuable information, he would report it to Yi Bei. Of course, He would be rude if he found that there was an airplane passing offense. Oh, that's great. Just start the next step. Yi-Bei squinted his eyes, his voice faint. Plan. Blood Moon was a little puzzled. Yi-Bei spit out a scarlet letter. Well, since there are humans who want to explore, let them in, and give them some evolution potions at the same time. Let them discover the humans in Donghai City working in the subway tunnel, and then let them leave. But, Wong, shouldn't all human beings be controlled? He wants to leave when he comes. Bloody West said quickly, although he was getting along with Guyu some time ago and was in the human world, but the more he knows about the human world, the less he has a good impression of human beings. At this moment, he will not kill all mankind. My plan is to evolve all human beings on the earth. Yi-Bei's voice was slightly cold. Ordinary humans are too low in terms of evolution points or gene points. For Yi-Bei now, there is almost no effect anymore. To become stronger, Yi-Bei needs higher-level life forms. Just work. Yes, King. Although Shu Yue was puzzled, he knew that Yi-Bei was serious, and he didn't dare to say more. I'll take care of the next thing. You will continue to monitor Donghai City. At the same time, if you have the opportunity, collect information about the civilization of the beast god. Yi-Bei continued. Yes. After hearing the moon, he waved his wings and left quickly. Ho-ho. Looking at the blood moon disappearing in the air, Yi-Bei's spiritual power domain quickly released. The Tree of Doom. Spiritual power called. This name was specifically given by Yi-Bei for the living tree in Donghai City. King. From now on, if humans burn you with flames, you must retreat. At the same time, if you cut vines with a sharp blade, you must also retreat. All humans who can break into the East China Sea in front of you, you must remember all clearly. If these humans want to return, and they have all evolved, don't block them. Just give up the passage. Yi-Bei decisively issued the order. The horror of the big living tree, ordinary humans could not resist it at all, and Yi-Bei was releasing water for those humans. Yes, King. The Tree of Doom immediately agreed. After dealing with these, Yi-Bei continued to release the spiritual power field. It has been 12 days since I came to Donghai City. During this period, I don't know how many invading humans have been captured, but there is the Asylum of China. On the whole, Donghai City is still very stable. After a comprehensive transformation of the subway passages, a series of incredible production rooms and rooms for humans to rest have been formed throughout Donghai City. A large number of evolutionary medicines are produced at all times. The dense smoke over Donghai City has slowly spread, but from the large living trees on the edge, those tree vines grow to a height of several thousand meters, and the dense leaves spread directly over Donghai City, forming a circular shield. Just letting sunlight spill from the gap, human WeChat still cannot effectively monitor Donghai City. As for Donghai City, all the buildings where humans lived were all occupied by mutant beasts. Different races, divided into different areas, different streets. They developed in an orderly manner, and the creativity of these mutant beasts surprised Yi-Bei. Mutated monkeys. Let the living trees grow wantonly in the place where they live, forming round cocoons, and then living in. This idea is really strong. When Yi-Bei's mental power swept across the area where the mutant monkeys lived, he couldn't help feeling. Huh? This is for mutant ants? That's a good idea. We can completely open up all the buildings that are not needed and fill them with cement to create huge ant nests. There are even such structures in the ground. In the deepest part, there is still a huge space, and inside is a queen. Yi-Bei's eyes shone slightly. As for these mutant lions, they are much messier, occupying a park, collapsing the buildings inside to form a fake stone mountain, and then hide in. Mutated birds, snakes. Yi-Bei continued to watch. When the entire observation was completed, Yi-Bei discovered that Donghai City had been completely transformed. The places where different races live have their own characteristics. As for food, these guys are very smart and go directly to the sea to fish for fish. The most important thing is that these mutant beasts have learned to exchange goods and share knowledge among different races. If you continue to develop in this situation, the Earth will become a real biological paradise, with countless races blooming, all full of wisdom. At that time, it will be more interesting. Yi-Bei muttered to himself. The Earth is now divided into hundreds of countries, and Yi-Bei has already made up his mind. When all the creatures on the entire planet evolve, thousands of different cities will be born at that time. Different races will live in different places, restricting each other, developing each other, and prospering together, subject to the control of only one country, making rules, laws, etc. Very good, but I don't know how Tony is doing with them. ZZ. After determining the development of the entire Donghai city and the future development direction of the Earth, Yi-Bei was quite satisfied, and then moved directly to the place where Tony was. Tony is different from ordinary humans in Donghai City. When he was in the Sahara Desert, he followed Yi-Bei, and this guy had a great deal of technology. After occupying Donghai City, Yi-Bei directly assigned Donghai City Sports Plaza to Tony. And many mutant beasts took the initiative to help Tony find a variety of experimental equipment throughout the city, and Yi-Bei even handed over all the beast civilization technology that Yi-Bei obtained on the Lost Island to Tony. 10 minutes later, Yi-Bei appeared in Donghai City Sports Plaza. As a land of science and technology, many mutant beasts around are always on guard, always responding to various crises. King, King, King. When Yi-Bei appeared, the mutant beasts all shouted respectfully. Tony, where are they? Chi-Chi. Yi-Bei spit out Shinzi and did not directly use the mental power domain to observe. Wang, it is said that Tony and others are bringing some mutant monkeys to the football field inside to study new technology. Oh, a mutant wolf answered immediately. I'll go in and see, you keep on guarding. Yi-Bei was a little curious. After the voice fell, the next moment his body turned into a silver-white streamer. This scene made the mutant wolf's eyes full of envy and fear. 10 seconds later. Okay. Yi-Bei came to the football field, which was all experimental equipment. However, Yi-Bei, who had just appeared here, his eyes widened immediately. The technology being researched inside was beyond his imagination.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.